Hello to everyone and welcome to the channel again. And today we have a small session, that is a short session we can say that, but is an important because of as we are working with the localization, so we need it how we can change our languages in a Kotlin, and also we have to discuss related to the menu in a Kotlin, how we can work that or how we can change the languages using that menu bar. Okay, so on click. So let us start that session, and thanks for your lovely comments and whatever be your requirements, and sure, I will just check down and will fulfill in future sessions, and will do that, sure. So thanks a lot again, and let us start with a small topic in the Kotlin. So here, if we discuss about localization, so we can say that the localization is a process to change the application context into the multiple languages, because of many apps wants be the in different languages, just like in a Hindi conversions they want, or Arabic conversions they want, Russian conversions they want, so they want with the English with Russian. So this kind of stuffs we need it. So for the multiple languages, whenever we use in our app, so we can use that localization. But in a Java we have done many times, but in a Kotlin how we can do that? So Android is an overall operating system that runs on millions of devices worldwide and among various groups. So since the diversity range is enormous, and a feature that facilitates local languages adds an advantage to any Android application. So we have to implement such kind of features, and that means we need to handle tags, audio files, numbers, that means according to the localized forms. So how we can do that? We have a localization, an important term in Android. So in the simple language, if you say that, we can say in a certain cases your Android application is supposed to support multiple languages, just like English, Arabic, French, Hindi, and others. So this concept is known as localization. So we can say that if we discuss in a depth little, so we can say that Android runs on many devices in many regions. So to reach the most users, your app should handle text, audio files, currencies, graphics, and upload the local wherever your app is used. That means it is important when you make your app, that means it is important that it is contain our localization, just like if it is used in your Saudi Arab, so that means Arabic is an important term be there, and if it is used in Russia, so that means Russian is important there. So that means we have to localize in such a language. English is a common in all. So resource switching in Android, so resources are text, strings, layout, sounds, graphics, and other static data that your Android app needs. So mainly we have to work with the resources, so that means the concept behind that, we can put the things in resources and can change it according to the app. So that's the way we can work. So here for the resources we have a many things, just like drawable, layout, animation, XML, raw. So if you make it in a localizations, you can change that. Just like if you want to change your strings, so that means that is in the values folder be there for the strings. So if you want to make it Arabic, so you can say values Arabic, AR. If you want to go for the Russian, you can say values Russian, RU. So that's the way we can change it. The same if you want with the res folder and there be a fr, that means a French and Japanese J, so you can make it like that. So this is called your resource localization. The concept is easy. The same if you want to work with a drawable, so you can say that if you want to show something in a drawable and say it is in Japanese. So sometimes what we have, we needed some drawable images, I want to show that is in a Japanese form, Russian form, so you can also be changed that drawables be like on that particular localizations. So again, if I'm talking about that localization, so that is a process to change the application context into the multiple languages based on the requirements. And Android is an overall operating system that runs on a millions of devices worldwide and among various groups, as we discussed first. So we have to localize and change that context according to that feature. So that's be a simple we can say that localization process. Okay, so just if we give for the first step, what we have to do, we have to go, this is our values folder there, and shall be hello default there. So if you want to go for the Hindi folder, you want just change it, and you can change that in Hindi. You will convert that things in a Hindi and make it values hi folder, and under the strings you just change whatever be the things on your in English, you can convert it into Hindi, just like hello, it is converted in Hindi as a namaste. Okay, so that same things it is converted into Russian if you work with the RU. And for uh, Arabic, it is little bit different because of the same thing you have to do, just means you have to put the hello as an Arabic. You can convert it from the Google converter, and but here some languages support the RTL. So default features Android gives right to left, just like Urdu languages. Arabic languages vision from right to left it works on. So your app layout completely changes on that cases. Okay, so that means it works as an R to L, whatever be your design view on left to right you put it, but when you convert it into the Arabic, your all design view changes as an RTL. So that's the way you have to work. Now check it on Android Studio how we can do these processes one by one, and also we have to discuss the menus. So we have to change these languages as in the menus. Okay, so here we have to create some program for that, and this is our practical menus, how we can use that menus with the languages. So let's see the example be here. Let's start it in Android Studio how we can do this. Okay, so let's start in Android Studio, and here if you go with this res folder, you can see that there's the values. Okay, so what to do, you just make res, and under this res we have to make a new folder, that's your directory, and you can say values, and that's your hi, that's for Hindi values. Okay, and now we have to go for again a new directory, and then you can say that it's for Russian values RU. So that means uh, two different languages be there, but we talk about the Arabic later. And you just click on your main, and you can see that on your res there will be hi and RU. So what to do, you just copy this strings be here, and you just put that be here, and the same you have to put in RU also. Okay, so just put it that things be here, and in strings you just say one more string that is called your hello, and this is your hello. Okay, so we are working with this. So I say hello is not translated in Hindi and Russian, so it show you the red mark. So what to do for, you just copy paste that in Hindi and in Russian, and just put it what be the Hindi value be there. So if you go with here and just say hello is your namaste, so just put it in Hindi version, that's be namaste. And if you go for the Russian version, we can say that this is the hello in Russian. So you can change your multiple languages like a Japanese, and I will describe you RTL also, that's on Arabic, but after this. So now you can see that there is no red marks. So that means it's a that our Hindi and Russian we completed. Okay, so that's easy. So once it's done, we have to go for how we can make a function to change this, to convert this. Okay, so let's see in main activity of the Kotlin how we can convert that. So these conversions mainly happen, that means whenever it convert, that means your layout completely change. So when you do these conversions, you have to call such kind of functions before your layout set contents. Okay, so let's see how we can change it and how we can make a function for this. Okay, so let's see how we can make our function in a Kotlin to convert that language. So for this you can just simply say fun set local language, and you have to convert that. So you can say local code, and that's your string type, and yeah, okay, that's fine. And now what to do for this function? You have to make a locale, and that's your locale, and that is equals to locale, and here you can have a local code. So you have to pass that local code be here inside your locale. So we have a class that is important when I work with the local conversions. Okay, so for this you can say that locale dot sorry locale dot set default, and here you have to set default your locale. So whatever be your locale, we can set it here. The two step, that's very easy. Now we have to need a configurations for that. So for this configuration, what to do? Config, and you can say configuration, and that's your configurations. Okay, so for this configurations we have to say that config dot locale, that's it depreciated now, but we can use it locale, and here you can say that alt enter suppresses. Okay, so here but there will be other ways, other approaches we'll discuss some other day, but I'm discussing about just 2 or 3 lines of a code how we can do that. And here if you work with the base context dot resources dot update configuration, because we have there will be some new conditions be arise up according to the API labels that we'll discuss in future project, but just I am giving a small basics of your how we can convert simple locale here. So you can say the base context dot resources dot display matrix. Okay, so that means simple these lines that convert your languages. Okay, but we have to call this before your conversions, that means content views. Okay, so you can say that if you want to work with the set language, and you have to pass Hindi, so it can show whatever be your Hindi there. And so let's see what be the result of this in Genymotion. Let's see what be the output of Hindi conversion. So here you can see that it's in Hindi form. So you can change your languages like, but now we have to check on them how we can put it the menus and how we can work on that. So let's see. Okay, now we'll test it on Russian. So you can just pass it RU and see what happened on your locale. So let's see the result in emulator. Okay, so let's see the result of the Russian. So here you can see that this is the Russian. So moreover, that's an important, you have to put your strings as in under the text like this. Okay, so that means your Android text is string hello, so whatever be, so it can convert the things accordingly, just like ru and hi. Okay, so as we have seen that how we can use this set local languages and programmatically how we can call this. But it's not be a good that we have to call be here. So we have to call on the button click, and especially on if we go for the menu button clicks, how we can do that. So here we can understand both parallelly. That means one side how we can use the menus in Kotlin, and on the other side how we can call the languages or change the languages on that menu click. So for that, just simply as we are doing for the menus, you just go for in res folder and just say the right click on that cases, and you have to make a menu folder on that. Okay, and once this folder be created, then you have to make a file inside that, that is called your main menu. And then under the main menu, what to do, you just put all your values. So say here this is a directory, and I'm choosing the directory dot your menu. So that's our menu under the res, and then right click on and then say our main menu file. Okay, so on your menu resource file is, and give them name main underscore menu, just very simple. Okay, so once it's done, you have to put whatever you want in your menu file. So what we needed for this kind of menu, actually if you know about the menus, there are three kind of menus. We have context, option, okay, and so we have to discuss some other day how we can give these variations on in a Kotlin. So at this time you just check it that first we have to make a menus, and we have to go for the items inside. So for that's your any item under the menu tab. Okay, and we have to provide some IDs for that particular item. So you can say that Android ID, and that ID is your first I'm giving the Hindi convert, that's my ID, and I'm giving the title of that, that is called Hindi. Okay, so that's number one, and just copy paste this item, and that's the other language is your Russian we have taken on that. So we are going for the Russian also, and just use that. So paste it and make it as Russian convert, and here you can say Russia. Okay, so that's true, and later we can use the Arabic also, but at this time this to be taken. So once this menu be done, how we can call this on your main activity. Okay, once we create a menu file, and how we can call it on your as an on create menu options. So you can just say on create. Here we have option menus. Okay, we have other menus, but we have to go for this because of we'll discuss some other day how we can call the context and other menus, but just simply we can call that. And how we can say that, we can say that inflator, and you can make that inflator as a menu inflator. You can see this, very simple. So some things become very easy whenever we work with your Kotlin. So inflate, and here we can say our dot menu dot our main menu, and here you have to pass your menu. Okay, just very simple. So now we'll see that what happened. uh, is there a menu list or not? Okay, so once it's done, we have to go for how we can click on the menus options. So let's see what happened on the emulator. Okay, so here you can see that there will be the two options, Hindi and Russians, on the menu. Now how we can click on them, how we can use it on click. So let's see. Okay, now what to do for on create option. After creating the options, we have to go for the selections on that. So say on option selected items we have, and here what we have to go, that means once it's done, uh, we do not make it as a boolean here. Okay, we have to pass values on the IDs. There are many ways to work with this. So here I'm using a just different way. I'm saying that equal, and at this time I'm saying that when, and here that's belong to your I just do not need of this, and here you can just simply say when item dot item id. Okay, so here we have to go for this, and just don't go with this super, and in this time I'm passing some values of the items. Okay, so that means here we can say that r dot id dot, you can see this Hindi convert. Okay, so here and say arrow, and you have to pass the such values. Okay, and here this is our else condition, and in which we have to pass our on option selected. So first it gave me some issues, so how we can fulfill that. So here you can call that with the function. So at this time you can set that true, and we have to call our function, that is set local language, and you have to pass Hindi. Okay, so that's the way. And here again, because of the pattern is the same, so use that arrow. So easy. So that means you can make like this. You can pass that one item dot item id and then conversions, and just go for the others. So you just copy paste it, and here you can say that Russian convert, and you have to pass R. Okay, so but one thing is still there, that if we call it, and we need to call it this before the layout. So whenever our change be converted, and that means whenever we change our localizations on other things, on that time, during that time, what happened, our layout completely changed on. Because of that I will show to you on Arabic. Okay, so here that's with the RTL forms, but in other languages it's also work with the same. So on that cases, what we have to do, we have to call the intent on that cases. So here that means we have to completely change that. So you have need intent, that is an important choice whenever you work, and you can say intent, and your intent be like, you have to pass some this conversion, alt enter, and this conversion with your the same activity. So that means we need to change our layout main activity, and here how we can change that class, you can say colon class dot java. This is the way you have to use on your Android. Okay, and one more thing you have to need to set flags. So for the set flags, you can say intent dot flag clear top, we need it. First one, we have to clear our top, and then our start our activity as an intent. So at this level, that means our set layout be, or this layout be automatically converted with the new language pattern. Okay, so that's the best approach. We can work on that with a click. I think that's very simple work. You have to pass one with your item IDs, then you have to use that IDs which you pass it here, Hindi convert and Russian convert, and on that cases and on else part you just selected the items, and now we have to call that function with the intent. At means we have to set the things as in a new way or a new layout. So let's see what happened with this. Okay, so when we click on that, so you can see the Russian, and when you say the Hindi, that's with the Hindi. Okay, so that's the way we can work with this kind of layouts. Now we have to move on Arabic language. So let's see RTL, how we can do with this, how we can support it with the RTL and Android Studio. So let's see the example. So as we discussed about Hindi conversions and the Russian conversions, so sometimes what happen that we have languages like RTL we have to use on that Arabic and Urdu. On that cases, what to do for this? You just make again on Arabian items on the main menu and just go for it. But before that, it's a default. Whenever you use that, you have to you put Android support RTL is true. So that means whatever be your layout, if it is working with the left layout, it converted automatically into the right. That means your RTL, that means your languages started from right to left. So whenever you work like that, you have to put it be as an RTL forms. Okay, so right to left languages, they are the Arabic, Urdu, so these kind of so for this the same, you have to work with your res, and on res you have to make again a new folder that is called your values and AR. So that's for Arabic languages. Same you have to put, and just go for the string, and just copy paste that string be on Arabic. Okay, and now for this you have to change that Arabic behind in a form like if you go for the keynote, and here you can see that there is an Arabic hello. Okay, so what to do, you just copy and paste it, and you have to put here as an Arabic hello. Okay, so the same thing here, you have to put that we have a conversion as in just copy paste, and then conversion is Arabic. Okay, so we have to support that, and here you can see that it is a Arabic. So some that means if we get a time, I will show to you how properly the layout we changes on this kind of Arabic languages. That means it we work on the right to left, just simply say. And now you have to just copy paste that particular language, and you can say that it is AR. Okay, so let's see what happened with this, and that's the way we are working with your set local languages. So this is a short video, but I will make in detail some other day for the menu driven and other things in a Kotlin, how you can achieve it in easy way. Okay, so let's see what be the result here. So here, if you're using the Arabic, so you can see that the layout is completely changed. That the this menu be on left side. So that means it is your right to left. That means you can approach it, and that's with the hello. That's from right to left. So whenever you work with this kind of RTL languages, so it can change your layout. And if you go for the Hindi, that's again it's on its actual position. So that's the way we can work. Okay, so in a future, we can discuss about that how we can use this kind of context menus and other things. So continue with this tour. Thanks a lot.